Recently, Mattel announced that it was licensing the character Sunman from Olmec Toys to include in Masters of the Universe Origins. And part of this was to diversify the cast, because, let's face it, there are a lot of white, Caucasian, whoever you want to call them, characters in Masters of the Universe. White, blonde characters, right? But there's also a lot of monster characters with all sorts of skin colors. I mean, you've got orange guys, you've got green guys, you've got red guys, you've got blue guys with mechanical arms. You have blue guys with yellow faces, blue guys with white faces. Heck, I mean, there's probably more blue guys than anything, and you get to choose your face color when you want to go with the blue guys, right? And don't even get me started on Eva Lynn. I mean, I don't know, is she white? Is she gray? Is she yellow? Does she have jaundice? Is she just a guest star on The Simpsons? I don't know. The point is there are a lot of skin colors in Masters of the Universe, and it is a very diverse line. It's always been a very diverse line. And yes, the lead characters are Caucasian, or white, or Nuggle, or, however you want to put it. But there are a lot of diverse characters. And it's great that Sunman is coming back as a toy. Believe me, I think this is fantastic. As a brand, though, lately, Masters of the Universe has been doing a lot of what's called race swapping, where they take a pre-existing character and just turn that character black or Asian or something, some other, I mean, that's something, but, something that's different from their original race. King Grayskull in the Revelation series is a perfect example. He used to be Caucasian, and now he is black. And hey, same thing with Teela's best buddy, Andra. And even Zodak in 2002 went under this, although Zodak kind of became a very different kind of character. But that's a YouTube video for another time. And no, Clamp Champ is not the token black character in Masters of the Universe the way that Winston is in the Ghostbusters or Token is in South Park. There are a lot of black characters in Masters of the Universe. I mean, there's Sir Laserlot, which we all know nobody gives a shit about him at all. Okay, well, some people do. I mean, Jeff Johns obviously does. And there's, of course, anti-Eternia He-Man, who is not black, but there are black characters like Geldor, who have been around for decades. He was in the original mini-comics. And there's characters like Natasha, who is from She-Ra and has been a toy. There's characters like Una and Aaron from Filmation, Prince Dakon from the mini-comics, as well as his bride. There are a lot of characters, in fact, from the original Filmation series that are black. There's no shortage, and there's no shortage of characters that had reoccurring roles. And having to race swap characters now to create more black characters, to me it's like, well, what if we just give more screen time to the existing ones? We don't need to just make everyone an anti-Eternia character, because that's not turning them black, that's turning them charcoal. And, you've got characters like Zodak, which, again, when they made him a black character, but they kind of created a new character. And, okay, props up to Hebro, too. I mean, alright, he's technically not an official Masters of the Universe character, but he's awesome. Alright, so, let's talk then about one of the best black characters in Masters of the Universe who does not get enough screen time. Dekker. Dekker in the Masters of the Universe Classics line. One of my favorite characters we've done. Very simple to do, but such a powerful character, and a character who story tells as a toy, which is one of my favorite things. And he is a legitimate black character in Masters of the Universe. If you're looking for a black character to use in new media, Dekker, right there. He's the guy who trained ManAtArms. I mean, if ManAtArms is badass, Dekker is badass like times 11, right? Because he's the guy who taught ManAtArms everything he knows. And he only had one appearance on the 2002 series, or 2000X, depending on who you're talking to. And this was when ManAtArms came to visit him. He was now in retirement. Dekker, not ManAtArms, living on Orcus Island, which is where Clawful's people are from, which is why Dekker is often pictured fighting Clawful as if he's his arch enemy. It's just really because that was his one appearance. I'm sure if Dekker had more appearances, he would have fought other guys besides Clawful, but hey, everyone needs an arch enemy. What I really love about the Dekker toy, though, is it tells a story. I believe that toys are just like other mediums of communication. Books, television, radio, internet, magazine. What's a magazine? That toys can actually communicate a story. And that is what I was so excited to do with Dekker, because he's the guy who trained Man-at-Arms, and I wanted to see this as a toy since we never got to see it on screen. So, to me, hearing Dekker train Man-at-Arms, I saw them very much like, a superhero and sidekick. Dekker was, the main guy, and Man-at-Arms was his sidekick. Kind of like Lone Ranger and Tonto, or Arthur and the Tick, or rather, the Tick and Arthur. Got to put Arthur in his place, right? Or, probably the best left said about Friday and Robinson Crusoe, the better, but sidekicks have been part of pop culture and stories for a long, long time that are not just reserved for comic books. They have also been in literature. So, yeah, two characters teaming up, one being a little bit more powerful than the other, very common motif and trope. And in my mind, learning that Dekker's the guy who trained Man-at-Arms, I saw him in Man-at-Arms going around Eternia like Batman and Robin, sort of saving the day. So that is why I wanted to do a head swap with Dekker. And we did this by doing a younger version of Dekker so that you could see him in his prime. As a retired Dekker, he's got gray hair, he's got a beard, he's got a patch over one eye. And this correlated very well with the fact that Man-at-Arms came with two faces, or two heads, in the Classics figure. Now, a lot of people think of Man-at-Arms as having a mustache, much like Flanders, and he does have a mustache in a lot of the content. In fact, almost all the content does. But in the original toy from the 80s, he did not have a mustache. He was mustache-less. And this was changed in Filmation because when they designed him for Filmation, they wanted him to take on more of a mentor role, as well as being Teela's father. So adding a mustache sort of aged him, if you will. It made him older than He-Man or Teela. So he was deliberately given facial hair in order to make him more of a parent-type character, or an advisor, a teacher, which he is. Now, there are flashbacks in Filmation where we see him in his younger days without facial hair, which is really cool because it also helps kind of show where the toy fits into continuity. And in the vintage days, we never got a toy of Man-at-Arms with his mustache. We've gotten plenty in the modern times, even toys of the vintage figure with a mustache. In things like Origins or Super 7 did that. Even the movie gave him his mustache, which has really kind of become his trademark. And there's a lot of characters who do have trademark facial hair, and that's pretty cool. I mean, Hercule Poirot comes to mind. He's always constantly talked about his mustache. Obviously, there are actors who mustache define them, and presidents like, Rutherford B. Hayes. So, let's get back to Dekker and stop talking about presidential mustaches. Dekker, when he meets up with Man-at-Arms and Teela on Orcos Island, is long into retirement. And in order to storytell as a toy, and use the toy as a means of communicating information, which, again, I'm a strong believer in toys as a medium to do this, not just as playthings, we created a sculpt of Dekker with a younger, no gray hair, and not just a goatee and beard, but a mustache, because this is the origin of Man-at-Arms' mustache. So, Terry actually lifted digitally the mustache from Man-at-Arms and put it onto the Dekker figure. So it's literally the same exact mustache, which was awesome. And this was a great way that you can now pair Dekker's younger head with Duncan's younger head and show them as in their prime when Dekker was training him. And as a toy, he worked great for doing this. You could display him like he was in the 2000X show, or you could put on his younger head. And that made Dekker such a great figure. And he does celebrate diversity, because it's great to have characters of all skin colors, all mindsets, all genders, all everything. And Masters of the Universe is a brand that really does celebrate diversity. Whether you're a guy with a robotic elephant head or you're a ninja with clawed feet, everyone is welcome in Masters of the Universe. And that's what I love about the brand, and why I was so excited to get Dekker in, because he was a great way to show diversity legitimately without having to change the race of an existing character, because we already have plenty.